Let's see, the first item is the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't, what?
No kids.
No kids. All right, so let's stand up and do the pledge. All right. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fantastic. All right. The next item is a special presentation. We have Senator Smallwood for an update. Senator, would you like to take the podium, please?
Is this on, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Council, for having me today. Thought I'd give you just a brief hour-and-a-half presentation. Brief few-minute presentation, giving you sort of a state of the legislature as we see it as your representative for Senate District 4. So again, thanks for having me. Thanks for carving out a few minutes tonight. I figured I'd really start with just a few observations from our first month during session, including the governor's State of the State address and sort of the bills that we've seen in these first few weeks, and then make myself available for any questions at all that any members would have, and then I'll plan to leave a stack of cards in case any of those residents of District 4 or Douglas County that are here tonight might want to reach out to me. Want to make sure they have all my contact information so that they know how to do that in the next 80 days before session ends. So as sort of a 30,000-foot view of the landscape, the situation's pretty much the same as it was a year ago when I addressed council, in that the Democrats do have control of the House by a large majority. 41 of the 65 seats in the House are held by Democrats. 19 of the 35 seats in the Senate are held by Democrats, and obviously we have a governor who's a Democrat. So as a elected Republican, it makes things very different from when we were in the majority a few years ago. But it was interesting to hear a few things from the governor's State of the State address that I thought were extremely bipartisan, some things that I think all of us, regardless of party, could really get behind. So issues such as school safety, I guess a shared desire to fix Colorado's transportation issues, also providing more funding for education, some really fiscally conservative items like building a larger reserve for our state, which as a resident of Douglas County, I was really pleased to hear, and even conversations around potentially lowering our state's income tax. So all of these things I thought were bipartisan, if not partisanly Republican. It was really great, comforting to hear a number of these things. It's followed a little bit by a few bills that we've seen that were probably a little bit more Democrat-driven, things like the repeal of the death penalty, which did already pass the Senate. If you followed that, is in the House now. A big conversation around the public option for health care, which Colorado's apparently going to be a pioneer in, along with continuing to move forward in what we refer to as Colorado's sort of Green New Deal, in a move to have Colorado fossil fuel free by 2040 is the date that I'm hearing now, on top of, I guess, a message around protections still at the state level for the kind of the dreamer population, the refugee population, and finally the governor, I think, really wants to continue the conversation around kind of the free, we moved from free kindergarten to now free preschool. So we'll see those. I will tell you, from the prior 3 sessions that I've served in, it's been uncharacteristically slow. We have seen really few bills so far. The Health Committee, on which where I'm the ranking member, I'm not sure we heard any bills until about 2 weeks ago. And again, we only have about 80 days left. So this is either going to mean that there's just a slew of bills that won't make it through the 120-day session, or it's going to get really frenetic here in the months of March, April, and May, because again, most of these bills haven't come through committee. I think you heard on the Republican side probably a push towards kind of a new slate of innovative education bills, as well as repeating those same fiscally conservative concepts, along with, again, the shared desire to see something done in transportation funding.
That's great. Any questions for the senator?
I have to ask the question, we've heard rumors that the Democrats and their trial lawyers are looking at construction defects again. Is that still, are they still looking at it, or is it over? Okay.
Yeah, there's a bill. All the notes are on my desk. It was probably the last thing I saw when I left the Capitol today, which is going to extend out the amount of time that a homeowner would have to bring litigation. So I think that bill has already been introduced. It might have already actually made it even through committee already. So certainly doing kind of a 180 on I think the good steps we had made in that construction litigation conversation in order to try to make it more affordable to build multifamily for sale properties, which at least I feel we so desperately need in places like Douglas County. I'd love for my kids to be able to move back.
We're seeing it come to fruition. Just now, we're seeing projects come online, and I would hate to pull the reins.
Yeah.
Any additional questions from council? I have the transportation question in terms of how is transportation going to be funded? Do you see a path to success to actually get general fund money into the transportation system, CDOT or other entities such as those?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. So that is the billion-dollar question, or tens of billion-dollar
yes.
question, right? Is where does that money come from? And that is the push and pull, and I don't mind sharing it with everybody who's listening today. Both sides of the aisle want to see money for transportation. My side of the aisle would like to see it come from existing general funds, which we have billions of dollars that could be redirected and reprioritized into roads and bridges. The other side of the aisle, as I see it, wants to look for alternative revenue streams like new fees, higher taxes, new taxes, and that's the tug of war that we're facing. Now, that being said, the Democrats do control the House, the Senate, and the governor's office, so anything that they really want to prioritize and really want to do, they can do. And there's not a darn thing any Republican can do to stop them. So I hope they do something, and I hope it's not new taxes and new fees.
Yeah. So I guess what's the likelihood? I'm asking you to put on your prognosticator hat. I mean, from a tax standpoint, they'd have to go back out to the voters, but from a fee standpoint, that kind of opens the door. Can you see something happening this session? If so, what's the magnitude, or where would they try to assess the fee to generate the funds?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. So I've heard every concept under the sun, I think, a per mile fee, new registration fee, or an electric car fee. So I've heard every concept, but again, Democrats controlled everything last year. I didn't see a bill. Democrats controlled everything this year. There's 80 days left, and I haven't seen a bill. Yeah. So if I was to put on my prognosticator's cap, I'd say, where's the bill?
Yeah, great. Well, Senator, thank you so much for coming. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I got a question.
Ma'am.
So, I hear a little bit here and there about RTD. Is the state actually looking at some involvement with RTD, or is it hands-off?
Thank you, Councilmember. Yes, the state is looking at it, and I should have brought it. Gentleman that sits right next to me in the Senate, Senator Jack Tate from Arapahoe County, has got an RTD bill, I believe, and I don't want to misrepresent it here on the mic. So if I could, I would say yes, but let me get you the details of that bill. Make sure there really is a bill now that I've called out the senator, and see what it contains.
All right, well, thank you.
He's Arapahoe County, it's okay.
I'm sorry, anything else? No.
Senator, can you talk real quickly about the school safety? You alluded to bipartisan measures on school safety, but are you seeing any details in school safety, and are you seeing any mental health components as a part of that?
Yeah, thank you, council member. So yes and no. So the school safety interim committee met over the summer, and we're supposed to come up with a slate of bills. I have not personally seen any yet, other than one, which I'm actually carrying, which would be the alternative forms of transportation bill. I would give you the bill number, but I don't have it with me right now. Basically, as you know, right now, for somebody who's in mental health care crisis, there's only two forms of transportation that I'm aware of. One is police car. The other is ambulance, both extremely expensive, both take valuable resources out of the community, especially our rural communities. If you can imagine somebody needing to drive in from Burlington or Lyman, so our rural communities really struggle there. So this would allow a licensure of some other form of transportation and directs the department to authorize and create some other form of secure transportation that can be done, again, safely, securely, and much, much more affordably. From the school safety side in particular, obviously 2 years ago, we sent tens of millions of dollars to the school districts to use as they saw fit for that. I have not seen any particular bill since that bill, but I'm assuming you'll see more, whether it's SROs, physical upgrades, glass doors, that type of thing, and have met with a number of people who are kicking around some new technological advances, mobile phone based, that look really promising, but haven't seen bills around any of those yet.
Thank you.
Great. Any additional questions? Nope. All right. Thank you, Senator. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time, and I appreciate your years of service, as well as being very accessible to myself, as well as I think everybody else here probably at one point in time has reached out to you, and I was quite honestly shocked at the level of service that I received. So thank you so much.
Absolutely,
Appreciate
my
it.
pleasure. Thanks for having me serve the best district.
Yay!
Exactly. Where can I leave cards if anybody wants to pick them up?
You can just leave them right at the table there, if you like. We could leave those there, and people can pick them up after the meeting. It should be a fairly brief meeting, so we'll then collect them and give them to our staff so we can give out as needed.
Great.
As well.
Thank you again.
You bet.
Take care.
Take care. All right. Next item, public comment. No action will be taken on these items. There is one person sign up for public comment. Ms. Roth, please come.
Introduce you to some people tonight. Thank you, Council, for allowing us to be here tonight. I'm Diane Roth, and I chair the town's Cultural and Scientific Commission. And I would like to ask Annie Day and Alexis Watts to join me here. At your last meeting, you approved a resolution on your consent agenda that appointed 3 new commissioners. One cannot be here tonight, Terry Tillis, but Alexis is here and Annie is here. And I think it's really remarkable that our 3 new commissioners are all relative newcomers to Parker, and they wasted no time in getting involved. And so we're decreasing our average age on the commission. And I expect we're going to be increasing our energy level. And I'm just hoping that I'm going to be able to keep up through all of this. And so I would like to ask both Alexis and Annie to very briefly speak about what they look forward to doing as a commissioner.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Annie Day. Like she introduced, I am just so excited to be here at Parker. We just moved here from Boston, and as soon as I got to Parker, it was very obvious that this is a really special town, not like other places I had been. I'm really excited about the opportunity to serve on the commission. We do such wonderful things for the community, like educating people through the lecture series and the historical committee. And as a mother of 2, I'm really excited about the opportunity that we provide for children to have access to cultural experiences and education through like the Honey Festival or through having lots of public art around Parker. And I really do have the energy. I'm really excited to be working here in Parker because it is such an incredible and special community.
Great. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name's Alexis Watts. I just moved here June of 2019 with my husband. We moved from Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he served in the Air Force, and we found Parker, and it's been one of the best decisions we've ever made. Personally, want to thank everyone in Parker for making it a great place to live, and that's why I wanted to join the commission, to really bring just my background and my love for culture and musicals and classes. Just like Annie was just saying, that classes are so important for young students in today's time, just to really get involved and stay out of trouble and learn something new. Why not? But I'm really excited to be a part of this town. I love everything about it, and I look forward to raising my family here and staying here for a very long time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you again for coming. We appreciate you. Councilmember Lewis and myself are the Cultural Commission liaisons, and I wasn't able to make the interview process, but Councilmember Lewis had some glowing thoughts as to the people coming on. So we anxiously await interacting with you here in the future. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to, welcome you all and the energy that you do bring, and that, I'm sorry that Terry can't be here. We had I think we had 6 or 7 applicants for 3 positions. So it was a little bit of a hard decision, but we got the top folks, and y'all did a great job. We look forward to what you're going to bring to the commission, and my age helps to balance out y'all's. So thank you for applying and being a part of us.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
You bet.
Thanks, Dan.
Is there any additional public comment? Seeing none, I will close public comment, and the next item is report items and comments from mayor and council. Councilmember Pogue.
I haven't had anything new. I'm
Okay.
waiting for my new appointments.
All right. Councilmember Toborg.
The only thing I have is Councilman Rivero and I attended the Economic Development Liaison meeting last week. We've got a Economic Development visit tomorrow with Holiday Inn up in Cottonwood, and also from a Police Department liaison, we have a swearing in of our newest police officer tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So that should be really exciting.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Rivero.
I had the honor of attending CML's legislative workshop. CML is the Colorado Municipal League, essentially the voice of the cities and towns of Parker at the state capitol. They brief us 40 days in to let us know all the bills that are coming through, beneficial or not to the communities, and whether they oppose, support, or are working to amend. Just like Senator Smallwood said, there is not a lot yet. There's some stuff that affects rural communities, but not a lot that affects the metro area. But that was obviously the big talk was if and when construction defects makes its ugly head visible again, and hurts everything we've done worked so hard and finally got projects coming. So we'll keep the public updated with that and let you know you can always reach out to your state representatives. And then like Councilmember Toborg said, swearing in tomorrow. I hope to be there at 3 o'clock and welcome another wonderful person to the police department.
Great.
Hey, you want to talk about young energy? That's
That's crazy. Councilmember Lewis.
I have not had any of my meetings since the last time we met.
All right. My reports. I had a Dr. Cog work session a few weeks ago, as well as a performance and engagement committee meeting for Dr. Cog. In that, we selected our John V. Christensen Award winner. That's the most prestigious award we can bestow upon somebody of regional significance. That is a secret until the Dr. Cog Awards ceremony on April 22nd. So we're looking forward to unwrapping that and bestowing a very prestigious award on a very worthy candidate. I also had a regional transportation committee meeting today. I chaired it a little bit, much like I'm doing here. We talked about basically transportation as well as projects that are potentially coming up, the 10-year strategic pipeline with CDOT. So that's where RTD, CDOT, and Dr. Cog, the Denver Regional Council of Governments, get together and talk about transportation issues, so we are informed and aligned, so nobody's sort of out of the picture and doesn't really understand what any entity is truly doing. And then we're about to undertake a process in consent agenda. I am Mayor Pro Tem. Obviously, Mayor Wade is not here, and Councilmember Williams is not here. But after consent agenda, as Councilmember Pogue indicated, we created new assignments, and I will no longer be Mayor Pro Tem, pinch hitting for Mayor Wade in these functions. And after consent agenda, Councilmember Rivera will take over the Mayor Pro Tem title and take over the meeting after consent agenda. So we're going to do a little bit of a shuffle, and he will take you home, so to speak. But yeah. So anyway, next item is consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion and vote. There will be no separate discussion of consent agenda items unless council votes to remove an item from individual discussion. Ordinances on the consent agenda are for introduction only and will not be removed for discussion. I'd love to entertain discussion or a motion.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion from Cheryl and a second from Councilmember Lewis. Please vote when the box comes up. All right, the consent agenda passes unanimously, and with that, I will pass the Mayor Pro Tem title and gavel over to Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you. We are adjourned. No, I'm just kidding. We have one business item. All right, next on the agenda, we have, I just had it in front of me, item number 6, a bill for an ordinance to amend sections 8.08.040 and 8.11.040 of the Park Municipal Code concerning legal age for tobacco and vapor products. Ms. Nguyen.
Good evening. We are here requesting that bill for an ordinance to amend sections 8.08.040 and 8.11.040 of the Parker Municipal Code be amended to increase the age of a minor to age 21 from age of 18. This will make our laws in compliance with the federal law that passed on December 20th, increasing the age to age 21.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Council, any questions for Jamie? Seeing none, I'd like to open public comment at 7:29 concerning this bill. Any questions about this bill? No? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. Jamie, can you take us, speak to why we are doing this now? Why is the town enacting a law?
So on December 20th, the president did sign a bill that had passed through the Senate and the House to increase the legal age of purchase, sale, and possession of tobacco products to the age of 21 from the age of 18. We are requesting to amend these two sections to increase the age both for all tobacco products and vaping products, which may not have tobacco in them. And it is in the idea of the safety and health of individuals. I believe that they are trying to remove smoking from minors because of all of the issues that have come about, especially from vaping products. So this is making the town of Parker's laws in compliance with the federal law.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Council, any questions?
I move to approve ordinance number 5.06.43 on second reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, when the box appears, please cast your vote. Don't leave yet, Tom. Just kidding. Thank you. The motion passes unanimously. And with that, no further business in front of council. We are adjourned at 7:31. But wait.